Hello and welcome to the TankSpot Icecrown Citadel Raid Guide. My name is Aliena, and in this video I'll cover everything you need to know about the Heroic Mode 25-man version of the Blood Prince Council encounter. I will assume that you're familiar with the normal version of this encounter. If you're not, I suggest first watching our guide to the 25-man normal mode to learn about the Prince's base abilities. If you'd like more information or would like to learn more about downloading this movie, click more info on the movie information box on YouTube to head directly to TankSpot. Also be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button to the right so you will be automatically notified as I release movies. First of all, I'm sorry for the slightly limited view you get at the start of the fight, but there are really no positioning changes compared to the normal mode, so it won't affect this guide. The raid setup you're comfortable using for most other fights will do just fine for the Heroic Council. Personally, for us that means 6 healers, 3 tanks and 16 DPS. The princes have a shared health pool of 30.5 million compared to their normal 22.5 million, which means a health gain of approximately 35%. The most noticeable change to this encounter is that any movement will put a stacking debuff on you called Shadow Prison. For every second you keep moving, Shadow Prison will inflict an additional 500 damage per second. To illustrate it better, if you've been moving for 10 seconds straight, you take a 5000 damage tick, and the next one will be 5500 damage, etc., until you remain still for 10 seconds to let Shadow Prison wear off. You take absolutely no damage while remaining still, so there's no reason anyone should ever die to Shadow Prison. This greatly limits movement for anyone but the Lana'thel tank, of course, because he can basically move freely to collect orbs thanks to the shadow resistance that they provide. In addition to hitting harder, most of the Prince's abilities will also deal more damage. I'll give you a quick rundown of what they do. Glittering Sparks will inflict 21k damage over 10 seconds and reduce movement speed by 40% for the duration, compared to its normal 20% and 12k damage. You might want to have a mass dispel assigned to your melee team should they get hit by Glittering Sparks while Valenar is empowered, so they are able to move in time for Empowered Shock Vortex. Conjure Flame will hit for 12k instead of 7k, and Empowered Flames can easily kill someone if their size is not reduced, or if people are clustered around their target. Shadowlands will hit for 20k and Empowered Shadowlands for roughly 100k unmitigated, which is why it's recommended to put a regular tank class on Lana'thel instead of a ranged tank. Kinetic Bombs will be summoned closer to the ground and will drop faster. If you're used to just having pets deal with them, you will more than likely need additional ranged raid members spread around the entire room to help keep them afloat. Should a bomb hit the ground, it can easily mean a raid wipe as they inflict roughly 22k physical damage. Not to mention everyone has to relocate to their former spots afterwards, which will stack up the Shadow Prison debuff to undesirable amounts. In short, don't let kinetic bombs hit the ground, ever. Shock Vortexes inflict 12k damage on top of the knockback when you're within 12 yards of one, and Empowered Shock Vortex will deal 8k damage per person. That means chaining a Empowered Shock Vortex to more than 2 people would probably cause multiple deaths, so it's crucial all raid members are spread out for this ability. Especially melee need to watch their Shadow Prison stacks, so they are able to move for Empowered Vortex without killing themselves in the process. That about sums up the changes that occur. By its nature, this is a very messy fight. What we had to figure out to beat this encounter was to assign and spread out ranged DPS properly to make sure no kinetic bombs ever hit the ground, and to have our melee watch their Shadow Prison debuff and properly spread out for Empowered Shock Vortex. The rest of this fight pretty much remains the same. Disc Priests and Holy Paladins are very effective healers for this fight. Thank you for watching this movie. As always, feel free to ask questions or add suggestions either on YouTube or in the strategy thread on TankSpot.com. Also, TankSpot donors can download all of these movies in high definition directly from our servers, so if you'd like to learn more about that, just click the second link in the movie information box.